Let's flash back to Friday. Yes, because guess what? Wolverines have locked up a 1 seed. This is not common to have any team, period, lock up. And GP, you know me, I am a stickler on this. It is true. They can lose the rest of the way. They're not going to, but Michigan could quite literally, and they're not the only one, could quite literally afford to lose at Iowa, drop a home game against Michigan State, and lose their first game in the Big Ten tournament, and Michigan would still be a 1 seed on Selection Sunday. That's what occurred by nature of the win on the road, 84-70 at Illinois on Friday night, getting it definitively, handing Illinois its 3rd loss of the season at home. And take it wherever you want to take it here. But as I noted late Friday, I think the most underappreciated thing about Michigan doing this, winning the league, a quality league, a league that's going to get its fair share of bids with some real Final Four national title contenders, doing it with 2 games to spare, standalone, period. And it only got to play Illinois once, had to go to Illinois' place. Only had to play Purdue once, had to go to Purdue's place. Has to play Michigan State twice, but it had to go on the road first and win at Michigan State before it gets the return game. That game is now irrelevant to the conference championship because Michigan has it. Also, only gets to play Iowa once, has to go on the road to do that, also immaterial. So the schedule and the way that it broke for Michigan this year was not in Michigan's favor. In fact, if you really go back to what Purdue was in the preseason and you see that the schedule that Purdue had in the Big Ten and you stack it up to some other teams, Purdue had it laid out for itself and couldn't get it done. We'll get to the Boilermakers in just a second. Another loss. They're really taking on water in some significant ways. Adaimara, Yaxa Lendenborg, and Merez Johnson scored 54 of the 84 in this game and had 23 of their 34 rebounds. This season, that big trio right there, I know Florida has the best front court in the country, and I still think that is the fair, accurate state of affairs right now. Michigan's not that far behind. Those 3 account for 45% of the team's points, more than 50% of the team's rebounds, and almost 90% of the team's blocks. What Michigan is doing with its big 3 is obviously something that has keyed them to get to this point, and it'll be interesting to see if they can do it. Oh, by the way, we do have the headline attached to this. LJ Cason is done for the year with the torn right ACL, was averaging 12 points a game in the month of February. It was actually his best scoring stretch of his young career. They lose him. Michigan does have some depth. I can't help but wonder if this is actually going to unleash Trey McKinney a little bit more. They don't want to lose anyone, but I wonder how they tweak here. And if we don't see Michigan fall off whatsoever, GP, great job out of the Wolverines. Illinois has now allowed 86.1 points per game in its 7 losses this season. That defense remains to be a major bugaboo, major one for the team that has the best offensive efficiency. Give me your thoughts on the game.
Well, the game was interesting in the sense that hostile environment, and then Michigan just goes in there and just handled it the way they've handled almost everything. And I know that Duke also got a crazy impressive win this weekend. We'll get to that. The Blue Devils are going to be number 1 in the AP poll again. They are number 1 in the top 25 and 1. Michigan is the favorite to win the national championship still at FanDuel. And the LJ Cason news, at least as of this moment, has not impacted that at all. I hate this for LJ Cason just because, it's a dream season where you could have, yes. you sit around with your grandkids and you talk about this stuff. And it's just,
you don't even get the chance to, who knows if they'll win it or not? Who knows if they'll make the Final Four or not? You've been a contributing factor, Parrish, but he's not going to be on the damn floor in the tournament. That's such a dagger for sure.
It just stinks. He'll still get to have the experiences. He'll be on the bench, but it just, to have that ripped away from you, the announcement coming on the first day of March, that you're not going to be able to play in March Madness when your team is quite literally the favorite to win the whole thing. It just, I don't be hyperbolic, but on a sports level, heartbreaking stuff. I just feel for that young man. I mentioned Michigan is the favorite at FanDuel. They are. Plus 300 is the current odds. Duke is then second at plus 350. Then Arizona at plus 500. Then Florida at plus 750. So those are the 4 favorites in the betting markets in this order: Michigan, Duke, Arizona, Florida. Those are also the top 4, controversial or not. Those are also the top 4 in the top 25 and 1. So if you're arguing with me, you're arguing with FanDuel too. Take it up with FanDuel. And don't let me bring DraftKings into this. If you're curious, because I know some of you are, UConn actually is tied for 6th for best odds to win the 2026 NCAA tournament. UConn is listed at FanDuel right now at plus 1,800. The Huskies are behind Michigan, Duke, Arizona, Florida, and Houston, and tied with Illinois and Iowa State, even though right now CBS Sports Bracketology has UConn as the 4th number 1 seed. I was going to ask you, can Michigan lose out and still get a 1? Didn't even have to ask it. You answered it. I agree with you. At Iowa is quad 1. At home against Michigan State is quad 1. So lose them both. If they lost them both, they didn't enter the Big Ten tournament 27-4 overall, 11-3 in quadrant 1. Simply put, I don't know everything that's going to happen between now and Selection Sunday, but I'm pretty certain this is going to happen. There aren't going to be 4 teams with bodies of work better than Michigan's. So the Wolverines are going to be your outright Big Ten champs and a 1 seed when Adam Zucker gives us the bracket.
I agree with you. Now, what about Illinois, GP? Drop 4 of 6. Figures to go into the Big Ten tournament with some wind in its sails because the next 2 obviously manageable. Home against Oregon, at Maryland. Better than 90% to win both of those. Okay, 24-7. Then we see how the bracket breaks in the Big Ten and what Illinois can do. But this team has lost at Michigan State in OT, lost home against Wisconsin, OT, lost at UCLA, OT, and then not nearly competitive, just wasn't ready. Michigan, extremely impressive how Wolverines just showed up on Friday and said, nope, we're winning the damn conference regular season title tonight. It's happening in your building. We're going to rip it right here, right now. And in the process, do some additional damage to Illinois' overall NCAA tournament resume. I'm about ready to break out my teams that can win it all list, national championship wise. I'm still going to put Illinois on the list because it's the best offense still in America, but 30th in adjusted defensive efficiency. No team forces turnovers on fewer possessions in the entire sport, 365 teams, than Illinois. Just where are you with Brad Underwood's team as it's really been obviously undeniably knocked down a peg here over the past 3 weeks?
It does rate as the best offense in the country. It's not like they just bury you from the 3-point line or do some of the other things that we typically associate with the most efficient offenses in the country. But like the numbers are the numbers. I'm not going to argue with them.
And from the foul line is also contributing to that, which might wind up being a factor in a Sweet 16 early day game. Yes.
There you go. The issues are on the other end of the court. In this stretch that dates back to, I guess, the 6 games ago, where they're 2-4 in this 6-game stretch, they actually still rate as the 7th best team in the country at Torvik, despite being 2-4. But the glaring thing that stands out, they slipped to 59th in adjusted defensive efficiency in these past 6 games. In these past 6 games, 2-4 with the number 1 rated offense in the country. Even in this 6-game stretch, still rates number 1. But the defense has slipped considerably, and that's how you end up losing twice as many games as you win in this 6-game stretch.